Hi, I'm Chef Duran. This is Umami Mushroom, and I'm going to be making some New England clam chowder, but no clams. It's going to be New England mushroom chowder. I've got shiitake mushrooms and pearl oyster mushrooms right here, about an ounce of each, and they've been hydrating here in our liquid. So I'm going to turn my stove on, and I'm going to take my mushrooms out of the liquid. Get them on my cutting board. Squeeze them out a little bit, even. I'm going to be using this, I'll be saving this delicious broth. And I'm going to put enough oil in this pan here to cover the bottom and a little bit more. So got like a thin layer on the bottom there. All right. So like usual, I'm going to start our onions first. Got a big batch of onions here. Chop up our mushrooms here. Just give these a nice chop to the size of maybe a clam you would find. All right. So I'm going to let the onions cook for a little bit first. Then I'm going to throw my mushrooms in. All right. Got it getting kind of transparent here, so they're looking good. Got a little salt and pepper. Always throw salt and pepper in as you go. And I'm going to be able to throw my mushrooms in here. Get that nice and incorporated in there. Gonna add a little bit of my my garlic in oil. Not too much. Ah, starting to smell already like some chowder. A lot of onions. I'm gonna dump my celery in here. Almost the same amount of onions as you have celery. I got it on a high heat right now because I don't want it to cool right down when I throw other ingredients in, just like all these ingredients that are in here. Look at that mix. Look at that ratios. Just right. I'll throw some thyme in here too. I'll crush up my thyme, my mortar and pestle here, just like I do with my cumin. Oh man, really smells very strong, beautiful. I'll throw some wine in here. Just dump all that in there and let it cook down. That'll really make our onions and everything, and our celery steam, so that'll soften it up really good. Get our stuff down off the sides here. That's smelling like some classical seafood already. Mushrooms can really smell like seafood at times. Shiitake and pearl mushrooms can really take on that flavor. Let this cook down for a little bit. So this is a little bit transparent. That wine's cooked down some. I'm just going to throw our potatoes in. So I've got 4 different kinds of potatoes. I've got russet potatoes. I've got red potatoes, so new potatoes. I've got some yellow potatoes. I'm not sure what those are actually called, and purple, as you can see, potatoes. And I diced them up, and I have to store them in water, otherwise they'll turn brown, of course. So I'm going to put like 2 times the potatoes that I've got of everything else. So double the potatoes as the onions and as the celery. So the celery and onions are about the same. I've got twice as much potatoes. If you're going to cut potatoes and you want to store them, you want to store them in water. And here we go, 2 containers full. I'm just going to stir these up now. Definitely going to need some more salt and pepper. Whoops, a little too much there. About like that. And you can always adjust later. Okay, so I started with a good amount of oil. So I'm going to be able to add flour to this. So chowder, you do want to add a roux, but chowder also typically thickens from the potatoes. So I think for the amount of oil I used, I'm going to be able to use 2 big spoons of flour to take up that oil to make our roux. There we go. Got that all mixed around good. And now I'm just going to take my broth from our mushrooms. I'm going to pour it in there. This is our stock. Just going to dump that in there. Make sure you're not stuck on the bottom here. Get your stuff off the sides. So I'm going to simmer this until, looks like I need probably double that amount of water. Maybe not, yeah, maybe double. So I'm going to fill this up. And I might add more water as I go, see how it goes. Make sure it's not stuck on the bottom, very important. I'm just going to let this simmer now. And I'll know it's done when my potatoes are done. So I'll be able to take out a potato and taste it and make sure it's not hard. And that's when it's done, folks. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a big pot of mashed potatoes. So the potato is your guide of when this is done. And then we'll just balance out the salt and pepper. And we'll be able to eat it very soon. As you can see, it's starting to thicken up here. A lot of ingredients in this. Make sure it's not sticking on the bottom. And just let it keep simmering until Our potatoes are tender. Okay, we're back. So this has been cooking for a while, maybe about 20 minutes. And so you're not only going for the tender potatoes, you can start telling that it's happening because you start losing your perfect square shape. It starts rounding out. There's the corners and the edges. So that's all thickened our our soup quite a bit. And so this is pretty much ready. Let me see. I'm going to taste the potato. Yep, it's ready to go. And you really don't want it to be like too soft. So as long as it's soft and ready to go, you're going to be heating this up again. So you definitely, again, don't want mashed potatoes. So I'm going to taste this for the salt content. Can use a little more salt. And because this is chowder, I'm going to put some extra black pepper. Maybe even a little more than that. You can see the pepper. So this is pretty much ready to go, folks. I'm going to turn off the heat. And we'll get ready to plate some up. All right, so I've adjusted the salt. Look how nice and thick that is. Just going to get ourselves a nice bowl. You want to have it nice and thick too, because you're going to add milk to it, which is going to thin it out just a bit. I'm going to add a good amount of milk to that. You could have this with some oyster crackers or some baguette piece of bread or something else delicious. I also would have put green onions. I'm sorry, I forgot to get them. But look at that. Are these clams? So, this is great. Just like clam chowder. You're going to love it. We'll be at Marlara Gardens tomorrow. Come check us out from 11 to, I'm not sure how late we'll be there, but do come by and check us out. Talk to you later.